What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, May 24th, 2020. Is it 4th or 4th? 2022 AD, 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm wearing my Get a Job t-shirt. It says Get a Job here. I got my Get a Job stickers. I'm not Get a Job. We're going to have a fun Tuesday show, guys. Going to cover some flashback clips of sleazy Joe Biden back in the day, or one of them, and a flashback clip of Megyn Kelly saying Jesus and Santa are white. Do you remember that? I was playing an old clip, a hit piece clip against Fox News that made me want to play it. Nice. And some other things going on in the world. Attacks upon the white man. A white baseball player. Can you get any whiter than that? What a mess. For speaking for trash talk. Good old-fashioned, civilized trash talk against a black. It's ridiculous. Makes me want to spit. And some other things going on in the world. And a little announcement. I have some upcoming appearances that I will be putting up on my website sooner or later this week. Going to be on Azzmador's show, TKR Official, on Telegram. Azzmador over there on Odyssey. This weekend, Saturday evening. And other stuff, your calls as well, if you'd like to call in. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. You can call in 888-775-3773. By the way, the t-shirt that I got was from Get a Job's Teespring store, teespring.com/stores/Get a Job. Different from the Hake Report Teespring store. I think he offers hoodies in this style. You know what? Let me start right off just with some fun, entertaining clips, I think. Megyn Kelly used to be based Megyn Kelly. She was on Fox News, faux news. She was a female talk host over there. Now she's a female talk host somewhere else. She's on Twitter sometimes. I got this from the archive.org section on Fox News from 2013, December 12th. This is from the Kelly file. It is so good. Let me see if I have it. Clip 12 here. Megyn Kelly dropping truth bombs about Jesus, as in Jesus Christ, and Santa Claus. So listen up, Black Hebrew Israelites and everybody else who thinks that Jesus is not. Megyn Kelly was never based. But she's telling the truth here. Listen to her.
So in Slate, they have a piece on .com. Santa Claus should not be a white man anymore. And when I saw this headline, I kind of laughed, and I said, oh, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa, you know? And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. Okay, so I've given, her name is Aisha Harris. I've given her her due on where she was going with it. But just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it has to change. Jesus was a white man too, but it's
nice.
like he was a historical figure. That's a verifiable fact, as is Santa. I just want the kids watching to know that.
Yes.
But my point is, how do you just revise it, in the middle of the legacy of the story and change Santa from white to black?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. First of all, the penguin would never work, Megyn, because a penguin cannot lug all of those gifts around the world. That's
He is
number
from
one.
the South Pole.
We just want to be
Santa's
clear.
from the north.
Yeah,
the stuff is up there.
Exactly. But you're absolutely right. Look, Santa Claus is based on St. Nicholas, who was an actual person, a Greek bishop.
Nice. Thank you. And that was Monica Crowley, the other lady, confirming. Thank you. And that was pre-Trump derangement syndrome, Megyn Kelly, I might add, before she had blood coming out of her eyes and nose and wherever, according to Trump. Remember when she tried to confront Trump about, back in like 2015 or 2016, about his statements on women, calling women pigs, such as when they are pigs and other things. So right on, Megyn Kelly. Speaking the truth. So that's facts. Everybody freaked out about that too. They didn't freak out on that black affirmative action writer at Slate.com, Aisha Harris, who wanted Santa to become black or something like that. So there you go. It doesn't even matter, honestly, says M.R. Jennings. Yeah, I know, I guess. But when they try to make it matter, they try to make him something that they don't even know. It's ridiculous. If someone wants a black Santa, who cares? Well, I'll tell you. Remember they tried to make it a POC female Santa? In that dirty Santa claymation knockoff? Remember that dirty one made by Sarah Silverman, who's not Christian, very unchristian, and Seth Rogen? Is it Seth Rogen? Very unchristian people trying to hijack our stuff. Here's another complaining black. It's not just that Aisha Harris woman who was referenced by Megyn Kelly. Josh Donaldson, based Josh Donaldson of the New York Yankees, just call me a baseball fan now. Number 28. Okay, based third baseman. No, I don't know much. I don't know anything about this guy, except I just heard about him this morning. Now I'm a fan. I mentioned this in Hake News at the end of, I forget what hour. Hour 1 or 2. At the end of hour 1 or 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson show today. Tim Anderson is this black player who I'm about to play his thing. I think it's clip 13 here. Tim Anderson says Josh Donaldson referred to him as Jackie Robinson, who is a historic black baseball player, right? Talented guy, I hear. One of the first guys who, when they force integrated the black players into the white players world, forced integration, and he's all hailed as a hero. So why would this guy take it as an insult? So this white player allegedly referred to this black player as Jackie Robinson. Take it as a compliment, or take it as trash talk and take it like a man. But here's this black male complaining. Listen to this.
Yeah, he just made a, disrespectful comment. Basically was, trying to call me Jackie Robinson. Like, what's up, Jackie? I don't play like that, and I don't really play at all. I wasn't really, bothering nobody today, but, he made a comment and, it was disrespectful, and I don't think it was called for. It was unnecessary.
That was when you guys crossed past the shortstop there at the end of the third?
Yeah, but that happened in the first time he got on, and I spared him that time, and then it happened again. It was just, just uncalled for. It's not, I got time to, be playing like that.
How did you manage to contain yourself based on that kind of comment?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, to be honest. It was very disrespectful, I don't want to play like that.
You called it disrespectful. Tony just said it was racist. Is that accurate?
Yeah, same along that same line, yeah.
Can you say what he said?
You said what?
Can you say what he said?
I just said it.
Yeah, it was very disrespectful. All looking down. Speak like a man. Say it with your chest. Lil blank blank. Tim should take it as a compliment and keep running. Pun intended. He's all, I don't play like that. I don't play at all. Yes, you do. You play baseball. It's called trash talk or something. Can someone translate this to English? Asks Ashley. I know. I should have made subtitles or something. He's a victim. I don't really play like that. I don't really play like that. Terrible, huh? One game. Commie Nonsense Network reports 1 game. That's the number of games New York Yankees based third baseman Josh Donaldson was suspended for after making quote-unquote inappropriate comments. Their words, I guess. Directed toward a black player. A spokesman for, I called it a certain word that I don't like to repeat on air, but I did say the word. Shall I say the word? Oh, terrible. Sucker MLB, Major League Baseball. It's related to that word, I guess. Chicago White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson, who doesn't really play like that, who is black, told reporters Saturday, and that's what you just heard, if you were able to decipher what he actually said, that Josh Donaldson, who is white, called him Jackie, as in Jackie Robinson, in a disrespectful way. I don't really play like that. Multiple times during the game. He was trying to call me Jackie Robinson. Like, what's up, Jackie? I'm shaking my head. In a locker room interview, that's what that was. Donaldson, oh no. In a locker room interview, Josh Donaldson admitted that he called Tim Anderson Jackie during the game, but denied any racist intentions. No such thing. I already ordered my Josh Donaldson jersey, number 28, New York Yankees. Normally, I like the South, the Southern Confederates, but I'll get the New York Yankees. Nasty people are calling him racist, calling his daughter's daddy racist on a photo of apparently his daughter's IG. Of course, you know, they go look up his IG or his girlfriend's IG. I guess he has a child out of wedlock or two coming by his girlfriend. I don't know if it's out of wedlock or not. It looks like it is. People are calling her his partner, this girlfriend of his, posting on IG. Beautiful, almost looks like a family. Why is this news? He was suspended for freedom of speech. It's an attack upon the white man. It's an attack upon the freedom of speech by Major League Baseball. Cucked my Major League Baseball, I might add. Sorry, kids. Don't repeat that word. But it's so evil. Google calls her his partner, by the way. His girlfriend, though, acts like she's married to him, because if you look at her IG, it shows a ring, like a little ring emoji. So maybe she thinks she's married? I don't know. But this guy, Josh Donaldson, interesting little backstory. Just a little side note on him. 35 years old or so. Raised by his mother, Lisa French, while his father, Levon Donaldson, I don't know, was imprisoned most of his childhood, according to far-left Wikipedia. His father was a construction worker, sentenced in 1992 when he was he was 6 or 7 years old, the boy, on charges of different things, battery, false imprisonment, aggravated battery, and then released from prison 15 years later, in 2007. Wow, he spent 15 years behind bars. His father watched him play baseball for the first time in 2013, 5 years after that, in Texas. Pro baseball, I think. What a mess. So he had his first daughter in November 2020. And I think they're going to have another kid. But right on Josh Donaldson, hold up under pressure. Hopefully you don't apologize or do something dumb like that. But of course, in order to keep your job, they try to do that, try to force the whites to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if he did it. Then I'd have to burn my New Jersey. My Jersey, not New Jersey. New York, Jersey. What a mess. So evil. Kissing up to the black. The coward scared, looking down while he's talking, occasionally making eye contact. Black Tim Anderson. No, the 6 or 7-year-old was not charged. The father of this boy was charged. Father of this man was charged when the man was a kid. This third baseman. So sick. So sick, this 1-game suspension. Inappropriate comments. You know, like this is the time to be saying racist things. Get under their skin. You're supposed to say racist things, so-called racist things, in a game, a competitive game. You're supposed to get in people's head. You should be able to say the N-word. The black should be able to call the white man a racist in these games, which he does. But all it should be is just good fun and trash talk. But no. It was very disrespectful. There's no need for that. There's no need for you to tattletale like a little wimp. Try to watch my language here. Speaking of kiss up, I saw this thing on ABL, Anthony Brian Logan, a fellow fan of the Fallen State, and I see him sometimes there in the chat. Anthony Brian Logan tweeted this picture of this Juneteenth flavored ice cream kissing up to the blacks. And it's not even from that, what is that, Ben and Jerry's or one of those, what's that ice cream brand that's made by radical homosexual gays who are not Christians from like back east somewhere? No, it's not even that. It's Great Value Juneteenth flavored ice cream. I have the picture of it, and it's disgusting. Look at that. He's like, nah. ABL, that is. Juneteenth flavored ice cream. Let's kiss up to the blacks. So, oh, please. And it's Great Value ice cream. It's not even, again, but what are the flavors? Swirled red velvet, cheesecake flavored ice cream. At least that sounds kind of good. But no, it shows the black nationalist. It's not even an attractive cover. It's yellow, green, red, communist red, black. Talk about an ugly cover. It's not even appetizing. So disgusting. So sick. It's endless. It never stops. I'm going to talk about the gays in a second. Juneteenth, what is that? June 19th or something like that? June 17th? That's some Texas holiday. They want to make it a national thing. So wrong. So wrong. Anyway, let's keep it moving. I have a few stories to cram down your throats here. There's outrage about black mothers. The far-left female-run outlet TheSkimm reported in Louisiana last week, Senator Bill Cassidy, a Republican. Bill Cassidy, what a name. Nice name. Sparked outrage when he said the state's maternal mortality rates aren't a problem if you exclude black females, black women. Louisiana has one of the worst maternal mortality rates in the country. Women in the state are dying at double the rate of the U.S. average. Louisiana. The death rate is especially alarming for black mothers. 4 dying for every white mother who dies. Supposedly. Cassidy was asked about Louisiana's maternal mortality rate. I wonder what's going on. Said the state doesn't stack up so bad if you correct our population for race. As if black women were outliers to be removed from the statistic. It's kind of like our so-called gun violence problem. There's no such thing as gun violence. But when you talk about, the homicide rate and the violent crime, if you discount the black population, we're not much worse than Europe and stuff like that. Crazy, huh? Because blacks are out of control. But I wonder what's making them die like that. It's odd. It's curious. Anybody know? Lisa over there, our resident historian over in the Facebook crew. Shout out to the Facebook crew. What's going on with the black mothers and mothers' mortality rate? Anyway, Louisiana is one of 13 states with a trigger law to place a ban on abortion. If so-called abortion rights, no such thing, are no longer protected under federal law, which it's not a law. It's a messed up Supreme Court decision. It's not even a law. Judges do not write laws. They are supposed to interpret the laws, but they just made up something and pretended to call it an interpretation. So sick, huh? Roe v. Wade and Casey versus Planned Parenthood of Southwestern or Southeastern PA, right? If Roe v. Wade and Casey are overturned, or, Planned Parenthood are overturned, really, because Planned Parenthood apparently won that case in the Supreme Court, so-called Supreme Court. We don't have real conservative justices there. But, Bill Cassidy sparked outrage. I wonder why they're dying. I wonder if they're, that is the South. There's a lot of obesity in the South. Is it especially prevalent among the black females over there in the South? Experts point to many reasons behind the state's crisis, according to Politico. And then I will read your super chats and get to your calls, guys. You can call in 888-775-3773. That doesn't help. This dumb woman, medical director of Louisiana's Perinatal Quality Collaborative and Pregnancy Associated Mortality Review, whatever that means, Veronica Gillespie-Bell says, race is a social construct. It's not a biological condition. Liar. To say that because we have a lot of black people in Louisiana, that's why our outcomes are bad, is out of context, she claims. Whatever. State is 47th out of 48 states that state's officials assessed in terms of 17 mothers die for every 100,000 pregnancies. 17 per 100,000. Cassidy. Oh, Bill Cassidy is a physician serving in the Senate. One of 4. Wow. Let's see. He's pretending, he pretended there's racial bias in so-called care. Higher rates of preeclampsia among American black females, a serious high blood pressure condition that is the leading cause of maternal deaths worldwide. I think that's what Lisa told us about, right? Preeclampsia. And the difficulty for women, especially in rural areas, to get medical care easily and quickly. His proposed Connected Mom Act, co-sponsored by Maggie Hassan, Democrat from New Hampshire, would tackle some of the access issues requiring Medicare and Medicaid, blah, 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 federal help, right? Monitor blood pressure, glucose, whatever. Anyway, whatever. Bill Cassidy, based or not based? It's shameful. How is the Odyssey working, guys? Press 1 if Odyssey's working. I like to make sure that it is indeed working. Fiddle with the green, please, so that Nick can hear the show. Let me read a few super chats here. I think Big Bump sent me something else related to this Juneteenth ice cream. Oh my gosh. They also have Juneteenth plates. napkins, little paper plates, napkins. Ugh. Talk about ugly. And they're selling these in stores. Man, that's commie capitalism if I've ever seen it. That's disgusting. I'll have to show that to you guys later. 3 means good hair. And one means it's working, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. And John WX25 says, ding, ding, ding. Tony finally said something that made half sense. White lib females, this is Tony from California he's talking about, who called my show late yesterday. White lib females, not the lib males, either don't want babies or kill them. Otherwise, if Tony had a fraction more of a brain, he'd be an idiot. Oh, no, he's an idiot. In the biblical sense, children. I'm only using it in the biblical sense. Is idiot a biblical word? Terrible. I don't know if the white females, yes, a lot of them do support killing the babies, but a lot of them are not normal whites. White females, as far as females go, are the most sensible females. If you look at their voting patterns, or least senseless, maybe we should put it that way, least senseless per capita, right? Even like a majority voted for Trump. A majority of females, a slim majority, white females voted for Trump. Right on. But yeah, there's a lot of liberals amongst the females in general. But I'm not for this, white liberals, or even bashing the white liberal females, because a lot of times these people are not like normal whites, they're not Christians. There are Christians who are a bunch of dumb liberals. I mean, obviously, they're very weak. Christians today are a mess in general. Wrong. Feminism started with white women. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, man. Free Ross. I do not. I think it was an unchristian movement from the start. Not even the fake Christian, because there are a lot of fake Christians too. And evil has been with the Christian church, trying to infiltrate. Wolves in sheep's clothing from the start. It's true. Even among Jesus' disciples, there were devils. One of you is a devil, he said. Dan East says it started with Jewish people, Jews. So, yeah. Don't know. Anyway, but yeah, thank you, John WX25. Appreciate the support, as always. And by the way, I appreciate the support from the Subscribe Star supporters. I do have a Subscribe Star, subscribestar.com/The Hake Report. As you know, I was banned off of Patreon. Patreon.com is evil. They are not for free speech, and we've known that for years. But I flew under the radar. JLP was there. The Fallen State was there. And one morning, all three of us banned at the same time. Collusion? I think so. Okay, a little bit more out of control black crime stuff, maybe? Let's play this clip 14. It's a 3-minute clip. We're at the bottom of the hour, guys. You can call in 888. Hake has more of a subscribe scam. Not true, man. I give content regularly. It's not a scam. I am an open book. Not too open, though. Nice. Let me play this clip 14 here. A little report from ABC 13 Houston. Galveston County Sheriff's Deputy among those injured during 2022 so-called Go Topless Jeep weekend event. You know how the Jeeps have like these rag tops oftentimes, and they rip those off and go to the beach and have the wind go in their hair? Well, this small town on a peninsula in, southeast Texas, gets invaded by tens of thousands of people year after year. And more than 100 arrests, almost 200. Last year, it was over 200 arrests made on Bolivar Peninsula this weekend. Listen to this mess, and then look closely if you're watching the video feed, because you'll see the mugshot of the guy who tried to run down a cop. In fact, the cop ended up on his windshield. Crazy. Listen to this and watch.
100 people arrested and dozens injured during the annual Go Topless Jeep event in Crystal Beach. A sergeant with the sheriff's office was among the people who had to be airlifted from the crowd. And we're taking a closer look at staffing and whether any of this could have been avoided. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor is live from the Bolivar Peninsula, Brooke.
Eric, this beach looks much different than if you came here this weekend or you saw videos of what went on. This right here is a long list of charges that people were arrested on. And I asked the sheriff's office, let's say this turned into a mass casualty event, would they have been prepared? Well, the sheriff's office tells me they had all the resources in places, EMS, extra transportation, and even double the amount of deputies responding to calls. A rowdy crowd and a massive turnout for this year's Go Topless event on Crystal Beach.
Yes, we're having an awesome time.
It was chaos. I mean, it strained us extremely hard. I mean, we had our hands full.
So chaotic that Chief Deputy Dennis Masick with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office says they arrested 175 people during the 4-day event. The majority charged with public intoxication and DWI. Officials say 8 people had to be airlifted and about 30 taken to the hospital by ground.
It could be somebody from passing out intoxicated to being punched.
56-year-old John Hamm, a sergeant working the event, is in the hospital recovering after he was hit by a driver.
He had both legs were broken. There's an arm injury.
22-year-old Darius Gilbert is behind bars on a $100,000 bond, charged with aggravated assault of a peace officer. Still, Chief Deputy Masick insists it went well.
I thought it went pretty well for that number of people.
Do you think the sheriff's office was prepared in terms of staffing for how
Yes, ma'am. We've been dealing with this for as long as the sheriff's been here, and he's been here 38 years.
There were 100 deputies from the sheriff's office assigned for the whole event, for the crowd that officials say reached up to 50,000 people.
I don't know if we had enough numbers of all the officers of Galveston County to go over and handle that.
Outside agencies like DPS, constable offices, and emergency services also helped out.
They want to come down and behave like they did this weekend. As you see, we enforce the law. We do the best we can, but it's up to the person to come down and act responsible.
Yep.
Now, if you're familiar with this event, you know it's not the first time this has happened. Last year, actually, more people were even arrested, over 200 people. So we asked the sheriff's office, why not just cancel this event? And the sheriff's office says this beach is open to the public, so anyone can come here, and they claim they can't stop this event from happening.
Well, thank you for that report. It went well, says the sheriff's deputy or whatever the guy was who was in charge, talking about the situation, talking about one of his cops who got sent into a windshield. Let me read this little. I saw this. I have a little, the mugshot of this guy. I think I put it in here. Yeah, this black Texas Jeep event. Okay, the deputy nearly went through the car's windshield due to the impact, this guy said. This Officer Hamm, who, if you were watching the video, you saw he's they said, a 56-year-old man, like a dignified white man cop, suffered 2 broken legs as well as an arm and a head injury. Was undergoing surgery Sunday morning. I guess this happened Saturday night. At least 38 individuals transported to area hospitals during the Jeep weekend. Look at that guy. Look at that guy's mugshot. He's only 22. He's just a baby. He didn't do nothing. 8 people brought in by helicopter, airlifted. 40,000 people went to that thing. I'd never heard of it. But last year, over 200 people were arrested. Were these whites and blacks? Or, I saw this black guy with the mugshot. Drove into the cop. I wonder if he intentionally did it or if he was drunk out of his mind. DWI. She said it was a majority were charged with public intoxication and what's the other thing? DWI, driving while intoxicated. Over here, they call it DUI, driving under the influence. And it could include pot, by the way, I heard. But I don't know. It looked kind of like a plurality to me. It didn't look like a majority. It looked like a plurality. Plurality being, you know, not the majority, but the most of the many different things. But not majority. Anyway, whatever. That's just a fine point on that little reporter there. Crazy, huh? Anyway, let me get to moving right along. Let me get to Sleazy Joe's comments that he's been making over the weekend and more recently, and some flashbacks. Just a little education for you guys who may not have been paying attention in 2013. You know, because a lot of people started paying attention after 2016. Quite understandable. And Sleazy Joe used to be heavier set, by the way. He used to look healthier. I mean, I guess he looks okay. He looks slim, but kind of gaunt, feeble, frail. Anyway, here's a quote from Evil Joe. According to Commie Nonsense Network. We're navigating a dark hour in our shared history, says so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden, referencing the war in Ukraine. Well, that's your fault, partly, right? Haven't we been enabling? Kevin Howe, let me know what's up, because Kevin Howe disagrees with me on this. He supports the Ukrainians, but not the liberals, right? And I support I don't know, vocal support of the Ukrainians. What good or bad can I do? Just speaking my mind, right? So-called President Sleazy Joe Biden referencing the war in Ukraine during opening remarks at the Quad Summit with other leaders of Australia, India, and Japan. Sleazy Joe, this is his first trip to Asia, right? He underscored the grave consequences of a war that continues to grind forward. And I say that's thanks, or no thanks, it's due in part to America, so-called American establishment, anti-American establishment, and NATO, also global homo NATO, that is, North Atlantic something treaty organization or whatever. I don't know. Despite withering sanctions from a mostly unified West, because they're sanctioning Russia, but they should be not helping Ukraine because they're enabling Ukraine to keep fighting. And I argue, I could be wrong. Kevin Howe is in my chat a lot, and in GLP's chat. That's why I mention him. Other people say that if we didn't give all this aid, military aid, weapons, money to Ukraine, led by this unchristian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, by the way, evil guy, on an ego trip, says JLP, and I believe him. I say if we didn't give them that money, they would have given up a long time ago. They would have had no choice. They would have been overrun. Yeah, the Ukrainians have a will to fight. I respect that, I guess. But let them fight with their own resources, not ours. You know? We're only delaying the inevitable. Or is it inevitable? Maybe I saw this funny meme. I was perusing the internet. Shout out to the internet. The very suppressed internet. And I saw this meme of this little mouse, little hamster, being strangled by a boa constrictor or something. And the mouse is asking the human, help me, I'm winning against the boa constrictor. Because, Ukraine's getting hammered. And Russia's taken losses too, I heard. And they're having a tough time in some places, getting pushed back in some places. I'm not pretending that they're not. This is according to the news. I don't have no idea really what's going on over there. But they're saying, Ukraine's doing so well, considering, right? Remarkable will to fight. Whatever. Would Russia be hammering them down had they not been enabled to fight? or is our money going to serving for more fighting and more lives lost? I say it is. Others say if they didn't, then Russia would really be overrunning. Just let them have it. I say to conjure Ron Paul. Some of you guys are Ron Paul fans. I never was, but I respect him more now, I guess. So what? I don't care. Let him have it. That's what Ron Paul always said whenever I saw him. Let him have it. I don't care. It's a whole other side of the world. Ron Paul, kind of goofy, but he's so much more right than any of our establishment politicians, I think. Sleazy Joe described the conflict as a global issue. Globo homo. Globalist homogeneity. They want everybody to be supportive of the gays. You know, that's what, literally, I think what NATO is for. That's what I heard. They force their member countries to be, have the gay agenda. So wrong. The U.S. and its partners, another homosexual word nowadays, will continue to lead a global response, which I argue only prolonging the death and destruction. Before I get to more super chats, I want to give you more on Sleazy Joe. He was also talking big, in light of Sleazy Joe talking big about Taiwan and China. He said, he was asked if China invades Taiwan, which Taiwan wants to act like they're independent, and I can sympathize, but I think officially we recognize a one country, one China policy. He said that we would respond militarily or something like that. You, meaning America, would respond militarily if China were to invade Taiwan, the way that Russia has invaded Ukraine. I don't know if China would do it that way. But his administration's trying not to embarrass him, saying, oh, no, our position is unchanged. Whatever. They can't admit that he doesn't know what he's talking about, or does he know what he's talking about? I am curious. I think that he might not know what he's talking about. And so it reminded me, his big talk, of these old comments from 2013 by Joke Biden. Got him. Get it? Joke Biden. This is from 2013. Let's play this clip 11A. This is from YouTube, February 20th, 2013, from the New York Slimes. Here is Sleazy Joe Biden shotgun video. The vice president under Obama offers self-defense advice. And this is a White House video, and he's asked by this very effeminate, male-looking interviewer. I don't know what this is, but a minute and a half of Joe Biden talking some sense to his wife, Jill, or relaying his advice to his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, to the American people. Listen to this, from Parents Magazine or something like that. Listen to this.
Thanks. Kate Ernest has the next question. She asks, do you believe that banning certain weapons and high-capacity magazines will mean that law-abiding citizens will then become more of a target to criminals, as we will have no way to sufficiently protect ourselves?
Is this Parents Magazine?
It is.
I have Parents Magazine in my home. I've never heard anybody in Parents Magazine ask these kinds of questions, but I'm delighted to answer them. First of all, the idea that, repeat the last part of the question, please.
So she's asking if a ban goes into effect on certain kinds of weapons and high-capacity magazines.
And what's her name?
Kate.
Kate, if you want to protect yourself, get a double-barrel shotgun, have the shells, a 12-gauge shotgun, and I promise you, as I told my wife, we live in an area that's wooded and somewhat secluded. I said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony here or walk out, put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house. I promise you, who's ever coming in is not going to, you don't need an AR-15. It's harder to aim, it's harder to use, and in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun.
Look at that face. You'd already had work done or something like that. What was that thing? Was that a woman or a male reporter? It looked like a male, but it sounded like a female. I'm confused too. The interviewer asking questions from Parents magazine, which is apparently a far left enemies of America outlet, but one of them asked a legitimate question, I guess. And I noticed that the New York Slimes, or the, that's a dude, says Nick, or the White House itself kind of cropped out where Joe Biden makes a rifle pointing gesture. Like he makes a gesture like he's pointing at you. Oh my gosh. Pretty funny. He's like, buy a shotgun, fire 2 shells in the air, Jill, Dr. Jill Biden. And the New York Times kind of makes it so that you can't really see his whole hands. So let me play this. I got this from ABC News and CNN. Have him showing the rifle pointing gesture. It's just an 8-second long clip, I think. Here's clip B showing him saying this thing again, just to show you guys, if you were watching the video. Here's Sleazy Joe.
It's harder to aim, it's harder to use, and in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself. Buy a shotgun.
Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. He said it twice, but they cut that part off. Doesn't he seem more energetic and, I don't know about sane. Anyway. According to U.S. News, Joe Biden's shotgun advice could land Jill Biden in jail. That was a February article from U.S. News. Felony aggravated menacing, according to Stephen Nelson. But I will get to calls. Hang tight, guys. I appreciate it. Your patience. Reckless endangering charges could result from shooting a shotgun in the air. Look at him. Look at how meaty he was. He had some meat on those bones, on those old bones. And that was just less than 10 years ago. He's become gaunt. And before that, in the 90s, he was like fatter. Early 90s, he was fat. Not fat, but he was obese for sure, I think. Zoom in on that face. Look at that. He actually looked healthy. Anyway. So they claim that, doesn't he look healthier there? Our president is no longer healthy. And by the way, later that year, in July of that year, Biden's shotgun advice was invoked as a defense by a man who was arrested for shooting a gun in the air. I did what Joe Biden told me to do, said a Washington state man, Jeffrey Barton, a 52-year-old Vancouver, Washington man charged with illegal aiming or discharging of a firearm. The vice president said that I could do it. Crazy, huh? Anyway, I have some more announcements and headlines, crazy headlines to share with you guys. Not good things, but let me get to some calls now, right? It's time for some calls. And then, of course, more super chats and things. Social Pariah is in Denver, Colorado. Social Pariah, thank you for calling. How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Hake?
Hey.
Can you hear me good?
I can hear you well. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to see, I saw on the Black Conservative Perspective.
Wait, don't be name dropping shows, but thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had a bit on the Davos that they had in Switzerland recently.
Was that today that they had their meeting, their Davos conference? You're talking about the World Economic Forum, right? Davos, is that in Switzerland or somewhere? I forget.
Yeah. Yeah, he was, he had he had reported on it, which leads me to think that it must have been sooner than
Maybe it was
today.
yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know.
But they had, of course, Klaus Schwab, who is a real freak. I don't know if the posting the pictures I've seen of him, but he's a weird dude.
Yeah, he is weird. That's true.
But they had, they pretty much just came out and said that, hey, they're finding this, people are starting to recognize what's going on. The internet's filling up with people, what they're calling disinformation. and they had some woman in there, and she's like, yeah, it's like a binary thing, which it is. I mean, they're wrong, and we're not always right, but they're definitely always wrong. And that she was saying that, okay, now it's time that we need to police this, where we start really getting aggressive on free speech. And I'm like, this is getting scary.
That is
what's
crazy.
going on.
I saw on Telegram, I think it was TKR official Telegram, and I'm seeing on Twitter, there are World Economic Forum police in their blue berets marching around Davos, and Marjorie Greene, the Queen, Marjorie Greene. I jokingly call her the Queen. I appreciate her for what she does, right? She's a representative out of Georgia, I think. She said, why was American journalist Jack Posobiec, the guy who's suspected of being a Fed by some people on our side? I don't know. I've met him. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know. Detained in Davos by a WEF, World Economic Forum police. Why does the WEF have police? Appears to be intentional intimidation tactics and shouldn't have happened, according to her. Groups of police walking the streets. Let's see. The heck? What in the world? Twitter seems to like to jump down. Anon News says groups of police, so-called police, including females and males, walking the streets of Davos, and they look like military guys in like these dark, grayish, bluish outfits.
These were big dudes.
Yeah, some of them are big. One of them is a woman, though. But patrolling with large guns, ARs. Why not get a shotgun? Calling for limiting citizens' access to firearms, by the way. I didn't know that they were doing that, but it doesn't surprise me. Protecting all of the World Economic Forum attendees. Crazy, huh? That is wild. Interesting.
Yeah, that's and Schwab was up there saying, we're the ones that tell the world, we're the elite, we're powerful, we tell them, they do what we say.
Somebody
and it was like,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say that I think they're starting to get worried. Whenever they start making blunt statements and they skip using divisiveness. We're getting close to the meat of the subject, is what I think.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, and another thing, if Jill blasts off both barrels, then you're stuck with an empty gun.
Right.
It's like...
I know, good point.
Side note of humor there.
Yeah, unless you have like a, what is that? I don't know. You can stuff multiple ones in a single barrel.
A pump or automatic?
Yeah, pump. Yeah, pump action shotgun. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I just...
I heard somebody in the chat was saying that Zelensky is like the keynote speaker at the World Economic Forum or this year. Is that true? I
don't know.
That may be misinformation, malinformation. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with Ukraine.
Oh, you're breaking up, buddy. Those Rocky Mountains are breaking up his connection. I didn't hear a word you just said.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I don't really know what's going on with Ukraine. I don't want to speak on something I don't know. But, it's like with Davos and the Great Reset, it's like, don't believe what your eyes are seeing. It's right there to see for anybody.
Yeah, the World Economic Forum, guys, if you're not familiar already, you probably know it better than I do, but some of you may not. The World Economic Forum is the ones who were promoting the Great Reset in the name of the China virus and also in the name of the climate change propaganda mess. So
yeah, the woman you debated that time, she was saying, I forgot what her name was.
Stardust. Yeah, that's right. I debated Stardust on Modern Day Debate, I think.
Stardust was saying that, this is just, these clowns. It's like, there's some very powerful people that follow that, and she just dismisses it out of hand. And I'm like, well, you stick your head in the sand, and we're starting to see it already. Hopefully, that it's not too late. We can't turn it around, but.
Yeah. I know. We'll see what happens, man. Yeah, according to Azzmador, he already spoke at the WEF, World Economic Forum. And he links to a main MSN article, Microsoft News. Zelensky says he's ready to meet Russian counterpart Putin to end the ongoing war. Yeah, right, big talk. I don't know. You should have met with him a long time ago instead of... But he's talking about bringing globo homo businesses over to Ukraine, too, I heard that he was saying, according to a New York Slimes article a day ago. Yeah, okay, so you're right. It did happen the other day.
All I know is, like, whenever like, I drive through downtown Denver, there's, like, a lot of liberals. And you see, like, all the places that have Black Lives Matter and what is the other one that they have? Well, we believe in the science.
Right, we believe science is real. No human is illegal. Women's rights are human rights. Black Lives Matter. Kindness is everything. Stuff like that. Those signs that you see in people's yards. Yeah.
Those are the same people I see Ukraine flags in.
Same here. So yeah. I don't see as many Ukraine flags as I saw BLM mess. BLM signs and those We Believe disgusting signs. But I have seen a handful of Ukraine flag things around LA and even outside in the suburbs. So disgraceful. Even in nice neighborhoods, towns, where liberals aren't even supposed to be. Shameful. Anyway.
Yeah, they're gonna find out. Like they were saying, the useful idiots when they came time for them to want what they wanted from the deal, they shot them. So I don't think that this is going to turn out the way that Black Lives Matter people think it is. I think that it's kind of like bait and switch. They'll get what they want for a while, and then whenever they're done with them, then they'll just forget about them for the next 40 years until it's election.
Yeah, I know. What a mess. Well, I appreciate it, Social Pariah. Thank you for the tip.
Yep. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care. Bye. Before I get back to calls, I have Art in Ohio coming right up after this brief break. Well, it's not too brief. Let's play some music, though, guys, shall we? Shall we play some music? You guys like music? Or do you call this music? This is from Vollmar, 13 or so people who need chances, tracks 3 and 4. First track is A Widow. Second track is Beside the Sea from You and Me. Hope you enjoy these nice, soft-voiced songs, you musical Philistines with these nice melodies. Go rake leaves, shovel snow, plant your garden, cover your ears, press mute, or grin and bear it. You musical, and talk your mess on the live chat, and I'll try to read some of them. You musical Philistines, here we go. And I'll be right back for hour 2. Hang tight.
I've seen this widow looking out a broken glass, and she's praying for a savior for a single second chance. But the breeze outside her window cannot touch her as it passes, so she turns onto her pillow, takes a drug to make her rest. Dream she's outside sitting over a pool of her own blood, and this pool it starts to boiling from the burning noonday sun. She pulls her hair and bites her nails that she might mix them with the blood, Then she stirs until a coolness comes to dry up all she's done. And all that does remain is an emptiness inside. She's feeling so ashamed, her anger took her for a ride. Swift, cool breeze is coming, it hits her face and draws a smile. She turns in its direction and she chases it for miles. She has to feel the breeze, she has to steal another smile. But she runs into this pole that leaves her absent for a while. And when she does awake, there are 3 birds up in the sky, and though they flock together, each one freely seems to fly. Each one seems to freely fly. So to herself she cries, I need a friend.
Isn't this nice, guys? I see your comments.
The tide had never felt so small, and you had never seemed so tall as yesterday, together in the sand. I was swimming in the waves, I saw your sculpture, then I heard you call, oh darling, won't you come to lend a hand?
Going on mute, says Marty. Whoa.
Don't you think it's grand? It's a turtle in the sand. Do you think you could help me with the shell?
What a beta song.
Together we could make a lovely shell.
Don't jump, just mute.
So we drew the features all around with bits of rock and shell we found and kept inside a jar throughout the week.
This is actually good music, guys.
I whispered and you made a sound. Just look at what you've made, so proud. It's something here for everyone to see. It's something that I hope they all will see.
DJ Hake could scare off the WEF.
Beside the sea, from you and me.
So nice. Is that a harmonica? Singer would be a bore to hang out with, I bet. Self-inflicted gunshot music. Hake, is this music a cry for help? Lonely, starving artist music. Well, thank you for bearing with me through that beautiful music and noise. There was wind noise, footsteps and stuff. Is this guy dying inside? You guys, man. Yes, harmonica. Thank you, Fatty Wat. Does he have vocal polio? Kind of reminds me of the guy from OK. Remember Marty Anderson from OK? Anyway, guys, thank you for bearing with me through that beautiful music. Marty Anderson, OK, the band OK. Absolutely kosher records. Anyway, that was Vollmar, 13 or So People Who Need Chances is the album on Blue Sanct Records. Thank you for bearing with me through that, guys. I will read more of your super chats. I did get some more. But first, let me get to Artie. Art in Ohio. Baby, baby. How are you doing, Art?
Omar, how you doing, Hake?
Doing well. Thank you.
I got a song I'm gonna sing to you. We'll sing to the chat.
Nice.
Okay. Don't give up on us, baby. Don't make the wrong seem right. Da-na-na-na-na-na. But okay. And
that was nice, man.
Thank you.
You're a rapper and a singer. Blacks, so talented.
Oh, so talented. Yeah, and allegedly I'm a wrestler too.
Nice. On.
Call me Art Steiner.
Cool. Art Steiner?
Yeah. Yep, Art Steiner. I guess I wrestle with partner up with Stone Cold Steve Austin, so you can just call me Art Steiner from Ohio.
Oh, cool.
Okay, well, first thing first, I don't appreciate something you did the other day, man. You was ragging on my alleged girlfriend, AOC.
Oh, yeah, I called her a little bit of a horsey face. I think she's pretty. pretty evil, but yeah, I did call her a horsey face.
He called her a horsey face. Man, Hake is out of line, Cat. Hake is out of line. Give him an art wiser, please. Okay.
She got a mouthful of teeth, you have to admit.
Oh yeah, she got a mouthful of teeth, but she definitely pretty or whatnot.
Yeah.
We willing to try to alpha her up because she definitely need to leave from that dark side. Come on over here with Art Steiner and Artie Art Baby from Ohio.
Yeah.
We'll alpha you up, sweetie.
Nice.
Couples have her making a Hake and Artie Art Baby a couple sandwiches and some chips in a little bag and a Art Wiser beer for lunch.
Yeah. And keep quiet, woman. Am I right?
Oh, man. We'll put her on some I Love Lucy and maybe some Bewitched, and that should hold her over.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You treat her like my rest in peace to my grandmother. Yeah, she used to have little snacks and little Snickers and little peanuts and stuff, Planters peanuts. We'd give AOC some of those, and she'd be shutting up. Hey, don't worry about it.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Okay, what the call is about, I seen that what you played about Joe Biden, and it's like, why is it these dang old Democrats love beating on a dead dog? Like, can we move to the third lesson plan? For like the last 60 years, we don't been on the same lesson plan about take away the guns. Okay, we're not taking away the guns from a legal owners that can have guns in America. We're not taking away. So why are we still on lesson plan one when we halfway through the school year with Joe Biden? We done talking. We got other big fish to fry, man. But we done talking about taking guns. This ain't the 1920s where hey, Bob, get Joe Biden and let's round up and jump in the little Ford pickup truck with the shotguns and go dunk hunting or go hunt for some Negroes or allegedly. So, I mean, we America, we leaders, not you liberal Democrats and you so-called Americans, we real American alpha Americans, we leaders, we don't need you telling us the big dogs and the ones that can own, the legal ones that can own guns, about what we can have and what we can't. We don't want no dang on shotguns. America is a place of variety. If we want whatever we want, and the Second Amendment affords that, so you just kill the conversation, sir. If it's over and done with, we passed lesson plan 1, so we can go ahead. We know you liberal Democrats are slow. We can go ahead and skip to the lesson plan 3, because we way past that, man. Stop talking about it, sir. I mean, you in Corn Pop, y'all go eat. Go to the golf club and eat some chocolate bars or something. You know, talk about the 1940s or something, man. The conversation's done, man.
Yeah. They have no business. He has no business being on that side. He should know better. Joe Biden, supposed to be a Catholic, supposed to be a Christian, but he supports homosexuality, which is, the evil inside of people. He supports the violation of the Second Amendment. He supported Obama. We did it. That's a big blinking deal. He said when they passed Obamacare, socialized so-called health care, socialized insurance. So wrong.
Yeah.
What a sick person.
Too many negatives. That's too many negatives for you to them was red flags, man. Them was way too many negatives, and I don't know how anybody could even support or even roll with anybody that got all them negatives.
I know. You know, he is what I was thinking about him. You know how he was spouting off at the mouth about, oh, if China invades Taiwan, we're going to do something about it. It reminds me of he is what they were pretending to be afraid that Trump would be. They pretended like they were scared that Trump would be going off at the mouth, having a big mouth, and getting America in trouble. Trump did no such thing. He did put them in a pickle a lot because he wanted for real justice in the world and in America. He wanted to look into what's going on in South Africa, but Pompeo didn't do it, I don't think. And he wanted no transgenders in the military because he wanted to put a stop to that. Obama had put that in place. And so he did put them in a pickle at times, tweeting out the policy that he wanted. But Joe Biden has put out stuff that's like in violation of what they've already established should be the case, the deal between China and America. And we shouldn't be getting involved if China decides to take Taiwan. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, they got. Well, it looks and sounds like to me that they got interest in China or wherever the other place to choose, and that's why the Democrats and the liberals don't want to. They want to get into everything.
Right.
Just like you said, it's crazy that everything they said Trump was going to be, they are. They was talking about he going to shoot off missiles and take us to war with these other countries and come to find and you know all this other stuff about collusion and all this other stuff, but come to find out it's y'all that's lying and y'all don't got everything, the gas, food all messed up, all this stuff going on, and y'all up here talking about taking some guns out. If anything, this would be the time that you might need guns.
Right. I know. That's why people are buying guns because, one, the communist shutdowns have increased desperation in the name of the China virus over the past couple of years, right? And then also with the validation of the Black Lives Matter Antifa terror attacks across the country, the insurrections that tore apart towns and neighborhoods and businesses, legitimate businesses, not the commie capitalist businesses that have been booming as a result of these shutdowns. But no wonder people are buying guns left and right because the government's not protecting the people. The government's one job, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Hey, you know something I checked out too, and I noticed that I think Tucker Carlson be watching Jesse and your show.
Yeah.
You know, which is cool. When we ain't like, oh God, Tucker's watching the show, but he's an alpha dog. Because I heard something he was saying about a revolutionary or civil war popping off in America, and he just know logic like we know logic. When you got famine, still, and a lot of stuff like this, inflammation. These is historic things that happen before a war takes off or happens in the country.
Yeah.
So I mean, anything that Tucker Carlson is saying, he going off facts.
Yeah, he's backing it up.
These are, yeah. I mean, anybody with an alphological dang on mind would know that, and the liberals are thinking and saying that, oh, he's scaring people, and they saying what he's saying. He's screaming fire, but they never say what is he saying that's screaming fire.
Right. I know.
He's screaming fire in an alleged building, and the First Amendment doesn't give him that authority. Well, what is he saying that you are allegedly saying that it's like him screaming fire? They always throw the accusation, but don't prove or give you or tell you what the accusation is. It's like, you know, that's like they lead you into but man, we on them. But God bless you. We still rolling with Trump. We need to go ahead and get him back in office, man, or whatnot. We don't care who like it. Y'all gonna suffer because y'all gonna mess yourself up. We ain't got to do nothing to you, or we're not the alphas and the conservatives and the real patriot Americans. Allegedly, with being the Joe Biden would say the ultra MAGA, I guess, like whatever that means.
Yeah, I haven't covered that. He called us ultra MAGA, huh? That's funny. I'll take it.
Funny. Hey, well, go ahead. You go ahead. I'll catch you in a little bit. Yeah, do that, because I definitely want to see your take on that when he was calling allegedly us ultra magas, I guess.
Nice. Appreciate it, Art. Take care.
You later.
All right. Yeah. Let's get to some super chats, though, guys. Lots of super chats and live chats that I would like to cover here. John WX25 on Streamlabs stated half an hour ago, radio station in NYC, New York City, canceled an interview with based Paul O'Neill, whoever that is, for refusing to answer questions on the Donaldson, that's Josh Donaldson, number 28, New York Yankees, versus, wait, that is Donaldson, right? I'm confused. I get confused because the Tim Anderson guy, okay, hold on. The Donaldson Jackie garbage, Paul O'Neill, refused to answer questions on that. Anybody know who Paul O'Neill is? Tim Anderson called himself Jackie Robinson. Tim Anderson, the black baseball player who's like, it's just disrespectful. Sorry, guys, that's a terrible voice, terrible sound. Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Never mind. Tim Anderson called himself Jackie Robinson, according to John WX25, and I'd seen other people make that claim, so it might be true. Paul O'Neill is scheduled to have his number retired. Oh, okay, he was a baseball player, according to, if I'm reading John WX25's chat correctly. Stand by for that as well. Wow. So a radio station in New York City canceled an interview because he refused to answer questions on that. In fact, okay, that's fine that he refused to answer questions, but wouldn't it be nice and encouraging that he say, that was cool. I mean, it's trash talk. It's also a compliment. You could take it either way. It's freedom of speech. I'm sorry, I thought this was America. What, this is not America? Suspend him for one game. America's pastime, and they suspend a white man for saying a white thing. Let's go, Jackie. How you doing, Jackie? Jackie Robinson. Tim Anderson is black and triggered, says the real Tim Scott, not to be confused with the rhino. Yeah. Ridiculous. Anyway, thank you, John WX25. Some more super chats and chats. Brandon M says about that Texas event, the topless Jeep event. Not something dirty, the beach thing, where the black guy drove into the cop, broke both of his legs and injured his arm and some other head problems. Crazy. It's a predominantly white event. But as we know, it just takes one, says Brandon M. Man. Shaggy Boy says you may need 1,000 rounds to protect yourself. Yeah, especially with those WEF, so-called cops. Lord Bibby42 with another super chat says, Hake, please let Art baby know that I'm tossing him some nice cold Artwisers right after he's done opening a can of Whoop Art on those evil white liberals. Art 316 and Hakeomania running wild, brothers. Well, thank you guys. Lisa over there on Facebook, shout out to the Facebook crew. Lisa is our resident medical expert and a lady. States Taiwan manufactures the computer chips that everyone needs, though. That's the issue. Oh, yeah. Maybe we need to bring manufacturing back to America under Trump. That would be awesome. Sho Sugino says, I know Jackie Robinson. You're no Jackie Robinson. Yeah, Jackie Robinson, I don't know. There's a lot of propaganda around him. Maybe he wasn't what we were told, but didn't he take the racial abuse, to use the sucker UK, I want to say a different word so bad, the sucker UK language, didn't he take the racial abuse with dignity? Not so with this Tim, wait, is it his name Tim Robinson? Wait, that's funny if it is. Now I'm confused all of a sudden. Because all these American names, Tim Anderson, okay. Tim Anderson, Josh Donaldson. It's hard to tell which one is the black. Josh Donaldson is the white third baseman. Anyway, thank you guys for the super chats. I think that's about it. As to the super chats, appreciate them. You can super chat on Streamlabs or on Odyssey. My D Live was censored. And speaking of censorship, let me tell you a little announcement and some other headlines that I saw from. I'm going to be on Azzmador's The Crypto Report show on Saturday, guys. Saturday, I think it's 7 my time, 10 Eastern, I believe is what it is. That would be 9 Central. I believe that's what it is. Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@Azzmador, AZZMADOR. This will be my 3rd appearance. 2nd in recent times, but 3rd appearance in 2 or 3 years. That's cool. The Crypto Report is the name of it. That's what TKR Official is short for on his Telegram channel, TKR Official. And on Telegram, t.me/TKR Official, I saw these crazy news stories, and are these real? The first one is Canada. Look at this post, and it's purportedly like I think it's a Facebook post or a tweet or something like that by this radical homosexual group, LGBT agenda group, Global Homo, says Canada wants to take your children from parents who don't support LGBT. And I have this just in the main folder here. Canada, children, parents, LGBT. And I saw this, just this morning. LGBT news, blue check mark. And I think it's a Facebook post from 2017. Okay, so this is old. But is this real? LGBT news posted this purportedly on Facebook, and they wrote shamelessly, as usual, Canada is just infinitely better than the United States. And they post this article from some website called nostraightnews.com. So I don't know if this is real or not, but it's just shocking, right? Canada's new law allows the government to take children away if parents don't accept kids' quote-unquote gender identity. Parents must accept kids' chosen gender identity or gender expression, according to Heat Street. Minister of Child and Family Services, Michael Coteau. And this was under the Justin Trudeau administration. I could believe it. I don't know if this is true, guys. Look into it if you want. But it's an attack on kids. It's an attack on parents, fathers especially, because fathers don't fall for this as much as the so-called mothers. And in some cases, the so-called mothers are not even the real mothers. You ever heard of the James Younger case? It's not even James Younger's real mother, I don't think. James Younger in Texas, I think it is. His father, I think James is the name of the boy. The father, Jeffrey Younger, spoke at the men's conference over a year ago in Orlando, talking about his situation, how he's starting to fight, or he's been fighting, and to this day he's fighting. So sick.
To this day.
Oh yeah, Canada's infinitely better, according to the radical homosexuals. If that was a real post, it's 2017. And another one that I happened to see there on official crypto report. This is a Daily Mail headline. Girls going through puberty early. I've told you guys about this because I heard it on the Jesse Lee Peterson show when I was producer of the Jesse Lee Peterson show, that daughters of single mothers, when they don't have their fathers, girls who don't have their fathers go through puberty early. That's why you see so many black girls going through puberty early. High stress environment, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe they have to think that they have to attract a man or something, like their physiology. But this is the headline from Daily Mail from just recently, 19th of May this year. American girls are now reaching puberty as young as 6 in a phenomenon that scientists think may be linked to childhood obesity, chemicals in plastic, and stress. The age that many young girls in America are going through puberty has dropped in recent years. Experts cannot nail down a cause. One potential reason is the prevalence of obesity among American children, 1 in 5 being at an unhealthy weight. Some believe the chemicals that help strengthen the durability of plastic could also be a trigger. Stress has been long believed to be a trigger for early puberty as well. Researchers note that early puberties increased across the world during the scamdemic. Isn't that interesting? You know, the communist shutdowns, the females, I call them the females, and the female-minded males who did these shutdowns and stressed the kids out and tried to scare the mothers, scare the women, and it worked, such that they were angry at the kids, angry at other people, judging the non-maskers. Some of the non-maskers were judging the so-called anti-maskers, were judging the others, judging back. A whole lot of judgment going on. A whole lot of anger in the world, people not working, people cooped up at home. Safer at home. Such a lie. Get some sunshine. Get some fresh air. Get some exercise. Get some work. Do some work. But no, let's shut it down because we have to be overprotective helicopter parent government. Crazy, huh? It affects the children. Leave it to women. Leave it to female-minded liberal communist shutdowns to destroy the children in the name of saving the fat and elderly and other people who are at risk from the China virus. What a mess. No, I do not surf. Blast off to the truth says, Hake, random question. Do you surf? No, I do not. I remember speaking of surfing though, they arrested some guy who was like out on the ocean by himself, like rowing or something. I think it was over here, but in multiple different places. People out getting some exercise. Ridiculous. Getting arrested. Up in Canada, going out of control. Lisa thinks it's a combination of external chemicals and genetics, personally. But what about stress, Lisa? Because, you know, anger, doesn't anger make people like, as JLP says, awakens the sexual appetite or whatever, the passions? And then also like the fatherlessness, I don't know. But yeah, probably a lot of chemicals too. There was a guy who was saying that he dropped heavy metals from his diet. He was getting like mercury or something, and it was turning him like gayer, like more effeminate, and more just, you know, like they did to the frogs with the chemicals in the water, according to Alex Jones, which I think it was a true story, by the way. In my debate against so-called gay adoptions, this guy gave us a couple of super chats about his diet. So yeah, it could well be, you know, the body is quite amazing. Can do great harm to itself with different things. So anyway, that's, you can check, as I will be putting it up later in the week, my announcements. I may be on Hippy Dippy on Friday, we'll see. Hippy Dippy Roundtable. That's with Dylan Burns. I interviewed Dylan Burns last week. He was in Ukraine, I guess. So that's cool. If I go on Hippy Dippy, I'll be talking about Madison Cawthorn, which I was started to look into it yesterday at the Notion, and protesting outside of judges' homes. And there was another topic too. Let me just see. Let me just go all the way up to the top because I wrote it down. And baby formula shortage. Yeah. So we'll see. Don't know. Oh, went too far. Okay. So thank you to Azzmador for the repeated invites, and we'll see what happens as to Hippy Dippy. You can check the HakeReport.com/appearances. You want to hear about monkeypox? I didn't totally finish my Hake News report on them. I called it Monkeypox. From Hake News, I mentioned this, I think, at the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports, in response to a global outbreak of monkeypox cases, which my caller Stephen from NYC says it's being overhyped. It's always been, there's always like a case or two in America. I don't know if he's right about that. And he said that the China virus was overhyped too. I don't know. I mean, I say yes. But anyway, the U.S. is working to release a vaccine from the Strategic National Stockpile for the rare virus, monkeypox. It's an African virus, by the way, I hear. But he says it came from Wuhan. Don't know. Stephen NYC, my first caller yesterday. There is one confirmed case of monkeypox and 4 suspected cases in the United States, the CDC said. Oh gosh, this is terrible. It's gross. The confirmed case is a male in Massachusetts. They said man. And I don't know if it's a man, but an adult male, I guess, in Massachusetts. 4 suspected cases in adult males in New York, Florida, and Utah. So all over America. While anyone can get or spread monkeypox, a notable fraction of cases, and that's a quote, in the latest global outbreak are among so-called gay and bisexual males. Gross, huh? Sorry, kids. So said the scared woman-led CDC yesterday. It's led by a scared woman, the CDC. Thanks to Sleazy Joe. And I didn't read this part in Hake News. As a result, the CDC has decided to hold a news conference about the outbreak now because LGBTQ Pride Month usually kicks off around Memorial Day weekend, which is the end of, it's this weekend. Memorial Day is coming right up. Did you know that? I guess it's next Monday. That's when you're supposed to honor the fallen soldiers of America, those who are honorable. But no, the gays want to overshadow it with their dumb, evil pride, misguided pride. Officials want to make sure the community was aware of the situation. Yeah, because when they have the Pride Month, pride is another passion, right? Something like that. And that'll turn you into all that, getting into being all vulgar and perverted. So wrong. Social distancing. Yes, be safe and distant from homosexuals. And in general, never touch anyone. Never touch anyone was a meme from the Christian music board, Decapolis Music. And it's good advice, right? Never touch anyone. Well, not necessarily, but whatever. Better safe than sorry. Phew. Trippy, huh? Very trippy. Anyway, did you hear, little side note, did you hear that Mike Pence, I still like Mike Pence, but he seems like he's turning on Trump. Some of you guys have called him a traitor for a long time. Supposedly, there were people who were saying, hang Mike Pence, which I, of course, disavow, should go without saying, at the January 6th mostly peaceful Capitol protest of the American patriots who wanted to preserve the integrity of our elections and force Congress to be serious about it. But no, they flippantly, with Pence's help, put Joe Biden in office according to the official results, right? And so I saw this picture of Mike Pence hanging out with that other guy who also didn't help with this situation, Brian Kemp. And I was for Brian Kemp when he was up against Stacey Abrams. You know, that fat black lady? And I use the term lady very loosely, but just to be nice. Corpulent, obese, portly. Trying to use different synonyms to sound better. Is she morbidly obese? I don't know. But anyway, former Vice President Mike Pence and Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, Republican, who beat Stacey Abrams fair and square, but she cried, voter suppression. Which is more real, voter suppression or voter shenanigans? I don't know. I say shenanigans. And tampering with the knowledge of the people by way of the lies of the mainstream media, misleading the people. But the people are suckers. You have to blame them for being suckered by the suckering evil mainstream media. But Pence, look at this picture. Pence and Kemp acting like they're all American. Don't those look like two great men? But don't be fooled. Pence is, I mean, I don't know. Trump has been endorsing people who they're definitely not Donald Trump's whom he is endorsing most of the time. But Pence is endorsing this guy who Trump was quite unhappy with because in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia specifically, where many blacks are, they were, Trump and others were suspicious of what went down with the election. And maybe wrongly, I don't know. But anyway, Pence is supporting the guy that Trump is opposed to. Trump wants Perdue, former Republican Senator David Perdue. I don't know anything about Perdue. Is he a decent guy? Is he going to be better than Kemp? Don't know. But anyway, just a little bit of drama. Kemp is a commie, says Fatty Watt. Pence is worse. Kemp helped the election shenanigans, bloop, along with Brad Raffensperger. Brad Raffensperger is like whatever, he was in Secretary of State or something over there in Georgia. Yeah. So wrong. A little super chat from Azzmador, speaking of Azzmador, on Odyssey. Alex Jones was right about the gay frogs. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was even proven on the on that show by my competitor, Joe Rogan. It was shown to be true. I'm tired of them putting chemicals in the waters and turning the Can you say freaking in front of kids? Frogs gay. Right on, Alex Jones. He is correct. So much of the time. Nice. Thank you, Azzmador. And that's true. Is there any other LGBT-related stuff that I want to get out of the way here? I think that's about it. I think it is. Okay. Yeah, terrible stuff going on in the world. And they're pushing it on children like they're the ones who are looking out for children. You're not looking out for children. Let me tell you this report. There's a news report going after churches by, the MeToo mess. And I don't know what's going on. The far-left female-run outlet, TheSkimm, reports, what's having a reckoning? Which is a commie fake buzzword, right? When they say reckoning, they're talking about racial reckoning or woman reckoning, woman against men, blacks against whites, accusing the whites, accusing the men. Call it a reckoning. The Southern Baptist Convention. Now, far be it from me to defend some establishment liberal, if it is liberal, religious organization that I have nothing to do with and don't know anything about. But the attackers I am suspicious of too. But these weak leaders brought this on themselves, kind of, I think. Over the weekend, a shocking report exposed a series of sexual abuse allegations, which to me sounds like allegations usually without evidence, right? And alleged mishandling by the SBC, Southern Baptist Convention, the nation's largest Protestant denomination. The third-party report was commissioned last year by church leaders. I'm putting that in quotation marks, air quotes. Shout out to Jeanette. Does Jeanette still watch my show? And its findings were alarming. An SBC staffer, Southern Baptist Convention, maintained a list of ministers and hundreds of other people affiliated with the church accused of abuse. Leadership allegedly stonewalled and even vilified survivors. Survivors is their word for purported victims, right? I'm a survivor. You have to believe women. Reminds me of that thing about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. In this case, I don't know. Plus, the SBC's former president was accused of sexual assault, whatever that means. In 2010, he denied the accusations, but later resigned from his position. I'm shaking my head. The church's current president reportedly says there are not adequate words, his words, to express his reaction. I say that's kind of dumb. This quote-unquote report urged the church, Southern Baptists, to create a database to make abusers known publicly, among other recommendations. Defamation, anybody? The SBC is expected to consider those during its annual meeting next month. I feel like I read something like a year ago from this same situation, and apparently that report came out, or whatever propaganda came out, and so these guys said, "Oh, let's do an independent investigation," and this is the result of their investigation. How about we do an investigation of the public schools? Because it's more widespread, I hear, among public schools than among, and there's a lot of politics protecting a lot of people. And there's politics in the courts protecting females who do this stuff against boys and girls. And because that's more widespread in public schools than in the Catholic Church or the Baptist Church. And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of evil people, wolves in sheep's clothing, who come into the churches. I just said that. They believe in the racism thing. They're letting women take over. They're not even Christians. They pretend to be Christians. They say you continue to sin. They say Jesus is God and God is Jesus. They say all kinds of mess. Southern Baptists. But those are some decent people, too. And it's being invaded, and they're going to be like, oh, no, we need to put women in charge. Then you'll be more protected. And they replace the blacks with the whites, you know? I mean, the whites with the blacks in leadership and the, with the fake racism allegations, right? Power grab and vicious. In some of these allegations, I bet you that it was a relationship gone awry, you know, and perhaps an inappropriate relationship, but one gone awry in which the supposed victim just acts like they're a victim when they're not a victim at all. So frequent, and then that person, the man's name gets published in a database. Doesn't sound like a good idea to me. Most school district employees are women. Big surprise, says Willie Powell. Yeah. Crazy. What a mess. You know, this is the last week, well, getting close to it, of so-called Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental Illness Month, as JLP called it. Support JLP on Subscribestar, by the way, or Patreon. Or no Patreon. Or Rockfin, but subscribestar.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. The experts do monthly exclusive segments with JLP talking about mental illness and other things, Twitter, and other stuff. But the far-left female run outlet, TheSkimm, claims 75%, that's the percentage of Americans who started psychotherapy, keyword psycho, and benefited from it. And that's a deceiving number. It sounds like they're saying 75% of Americans are in psychotherapy. Oh my gosh, if the women take over, that's going to be the number. So wrong. Yeah, even private Christian schools are corrupt. That's true. Yeah, Robert Lee. I'm not denying that some of this wrong stuff happens, but it's one-sided. You can't trust these people to deal with the wrong issues. Anyway, same thing with this psycho stuff, psychotherapy. So 75%, 3 in 4 people who go into psychotherapy benefit from it, supposedly. So I say only 1 in 4 were honest that it didn't help. They said it didn't help. It's according to a review of hundreds of studies, talking to a mental health expert can improve emotion and coping skills, say these ladies at TheSkimm, these wayward ladies, morally wayward ladies at TheSkimm. It's been even linked to positive changes in quality of life. Double checks our next session is booked. Yeah, see, these ladies are psychos confirmed. Psychos who need therapy. That's what psychotherapy is, right? And so they're promoting some app or thing. It's basically a commercial to link you with a licensed professional therapist. This reminds me of this thing earlier, a month ago actually almost, that I shared, and I'll remind you about it just to give you some context. Based on your wants and needs, you can get affordable private online counseling anytime, anywhere. 20% off for skimmers. Because these ladies who follow the news and worry their pretty little heads about politics, they need help, big time. Don't worry your pretty little heads about politics, ladies. But you can still watch my show. If you want. Depends on the therapist, says Chabot. I know, they've replaced the Christian counselor with a therapist, the so-called scientist. And those scientists are lost, and people are miserable. Now, let me give you the context. Remember last month, TheSkimm, the far-left female-run outlet TheSkimm, are the same ladies, quote-unquote, who recommended the Big M. Remember the Big M? Don't tell the kids. To help the brain exercises for the females to do that. Disgusting. I believe I mentioned that April 28th because I think they were calling May to be the Big M month. They actually did that. I covered it. I am shaking my head, kind of speechless, disgusted. Oh, man, so wrong. And they think, oh, yeah, go to a therapist and do that wrong, gross thing with your body. It's so sick. Man. Terrible. Anyway, let's move on away from that topic. I'm grossed out. Let's get to, yesterday I didn't get to this, but I wanted to talk about the so-called phony human rights groups. Oxfam was one organization that was promoted, and they promoted some lame report that, what was their report? Oxfam. Here it is, I think. Yeah, the mega rich, this is from CNN, the mega rich are getting richer. New billionaires were minted nearly every day during the scamdemic, according to a new report by the extremist Globo Homo, Oxfam, which is the Oxford Committee on Famine Relief. What do they have to do with attacking the rich? They want to get money, and they want to, redistribution of wealth, right? Redistribution of poverty. At the same time, data shows growing levels of inequality, communist buzzword, and rising food prices could push as many as 263 million people into extreme poverty this year. It's from Hake News yesterday. This propaganda is timed to coincide with the kickoff of the annual World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland, which was, yesterday, I guess. Gathering of some of the wealthiest people and world leaders, and they too are Globo Homo, globalist, socialist redistribution of so-called wealth. Communists, enemies of America. Same thing with Oxfam, enemies of the UK. Oxford is in Britain, right? UK. Oxfam, the future is equal, says this headline on their website. That's their tagline. The future is equal. What does that even mean? Is that aimed at females or what? Yes, it's aimed at females. Donate now. You have the power to change lives. Change the world. Take action. Start here. Food prices skyrocket due to the Ukraine crisis. I don't believe that food prices had to skyrocket due to the so-called Ukraine crisis. I think that we did sanctions and we're hurting ourselves with the sanctions. That's my guess. Not sure. I could be mistaken. Millions of people already suffering from extreme hunger are at greater risk. I'm looking at these, I go into the don't show section and just show some of these screenshots from OxFam. The future is equal. Vaccine equity now, reads this. These females marching outside, worrying their pretty little heads like they know what they're talking about. Vaccine equity now, OxFam sign that they're marching around with. End COVID monopolies. People over profits. Pressure on companies to share COVID vaccine technology. Earth Day 2022 was last month. 6 facts about climate change and inequality. Bunch of lame propaganda. Oh yeah, we need to listen to these people about that stuff. UNHCR was another fake thing, fake human rights group that I wanted to bash as we wind down the show here. UNHCR, the UN so-called refugee agency, the evil UN, enemies of America, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Check out Refugee Resettlement Watch. Commie Nonsense Network says today, I think, marks 3 months since Russia launched its assault on Ukraine. Something like that. Since then, a staggering 8 million people in the country have been displaced, says the evil UN refugee agency, UNHCR. And I have some screenshots from their website. Ukrainian refugees find warm welcome in neighboring Moldova. At least they have women and children there. I don't know if that's a stock photo or what, but mostly it's females and children and old males who are refugees. And I heard Jewish people are allowed to leave too. But look at this. Oh my gosh. I saw this. Look at this one. This Asian female who is holding up this sign as she's speaking in front of a beautiful scene, like a beautiful window scene. And she calls herself a proud refugee with this thing. Proud refugee. Being a refugee is a shame. You're not supposed to be proud of being a refugee. What in the world? Being a refugee, you want to blend in with the people that you're around, with the country that you're being in and be appreciative and not be all bold and in your face about it. Proud refugee. Talk about woman stuff. This Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is from today, I guess, this week. I mean, this month. Nga Nguyen Sandoval celebrates her name and her journey, and she calls herself a proud refugee. Oh, look at this one. Look at this. UNHCR. I told you the UN is evil. They're promoting the pride in the LGBT stuff flag. UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi's message on International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia. What? And look at there's this huge gay, radical, homosexual rainbow flag. And all these radical homosexual activists are posing in front of it in this photograph. There's an actual International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, Biphobia. A bunch of these fake things. Filippo Grandi, whatever that guy's name is, he's the High Commissioner for Refugees. So yeah, that's the UN. And that's thanks to the Globo Homo war against Russia trying to take their rightful stuff in Ukraine. Or am I wrong, Kevin Howe? Shout out to Kevin Howe. He doesn't like this Russia going into Ukraine. Ukraine has that unchristian president. Some of you guys call him not morally straight. I mean, he's not a Christian. He's not even a fake Christian. Biphobia, that's a new one. Yeah, I know. Ridiculous. There, he announced a historic joint customs control. This is just a side note with Poland the other day. Unity of Ukrainians and Poles, constant that no one will break. He signed a decree introducing a new award to thank cities of partner countries that helped Ukraine the most. The Polish city of Rzeszów became the first to be added to the list. On the ground, tensions remain high, and Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolyak said Saturday he ruled out a ceasefire with Russia, emphasizing Kiev would not accept any deal with Moscow that involved ceding territory. That's because they're being propped up artificially by evil. Like I said before, you know. It's sick. Anyway, we got to wrap up, guys. Let me just double check for any super chats. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Azzmador over there on Odyssey. Lately, the U.S. government appears to exist in order to prove Alex Jones right about everything. About everything. Yeah, I know. Trump has been proven right too. About a lot. Alex Jones right. It's sick. The U.S. government is not the United States. That's why we the people, you know, the government has long been the enemy of the people. And the government props up these people like Stacey Abrams, who is running unopposed in the Democrat. You think that she'll beat Kemp or David Perdue or whoever wins the Republican primary? We'll see what happens, right? Primary elections in Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, and Texas. And isn't Kemp, that's Georgia. Oh yeah, Georgia, okay. Stacey Abrams, a fat black woman running unopposed. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, this has been the Hake Report. I try to end on time now. Again, you can check the thehakereport.com/appearances. Later in this week, I will post the announcements for Azzmador's show. And if I'm going to be on Hippy Dippy, I'll do that too. But thank you guys, and take care. Adios.